Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from MSA2 Group 5. We are going to present our project, which is discrimination test, same sample triangle test for lychee flavored drinks. Before that, I would like to introduce my group members who have together made this project a success. Firstly, Ainah Najiha binti Khairil Anwar, and I, Roshifa Izzah binti Muhammad Noor, and our leader, Raja Khairah binti Raja Yahya Effendi, and lastly, Nurul Alia Atikah binti Cik Zahari. Have you tried a lychee? They are these juicy, sweet fruits with a rough reddish pink skin. Once you peel it, you will find a white flesh that is so refreshing and tropical. It's a taste you won't forget. The delicious, nutritious and sweet lychee fruit is one of the most significant tropical and subtropical evergreen fruit trees. Lychee contains a rich in vitamin C with a fair amount of phosphorus, calcium, iron, vitamin A and vitamin B. Lychee itself is quite limited due to its high moisture content and soft texture. Hence, it is processed for commercial drink manufacture. The market for nutritional drinks is expected to expand further. These drinks enhance consumer enjoyment with their sweet taste and appealing characteristic. However, lychee drink with a low acidity level, which is pH 4.5 to 5.0, pose a higher risk of microbial contamination. For this reason, preservation of lychee drinks is necessary to guarantee their safety and quality. This project is carried out to determine whether the panelists can differentiate between two samples of popular lychee flavored drinks in the market from different brands. Before we begin our project, we have decided the null hypothesis and also the alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis is panelists cannot detect the difference between sample A, which is yours lychee flavored drinks, and sample B, Drinho lychee flavored drinks. Meanwhile, the alternative hypothesis is panelists can detect the differences between sample A, yours lychee flavored drinks, and sample B, Drinho lychee flavored drinks. In this project, students enrolled in the Faculty of Science and Technology at University Science Islam Malaysia are selected as the panelists. The test is carried out by 60 panelists with age ranging from 19 to 23 years old, consisting of both female and male students. The participants involved in this test are untrained panelists. We use two samples of popular brands of lychee flavored drinks, which are Yours lychee flavored drinks and Drinho lychee flavored drinks.
Next is test and procedures. We use the triangle test. This discriminative test helps us understand if people can spot differences between two similar samples or if they perceive them are essentially the same. In our case, we're applying it to assess detectable difference between Yours lychee drinks, sample A, and Drinho lychee drinks, sample B. Our 60 panelists each receive 3 coded samples in different order combinations: AAB, ABA, BAA, BBA, BAB, and ABB. For the procedure, first, master sheet is prepared. The random 3-digit number codes are written on stickers and the stickers are sticked on the sample containers. The score sheet for each panelist are prepared. Then, a table markup is prepared. The samples are prepared by pouring the lychee drink on each container that are labeled with 3-digit random codes. Each panelist is given 3 samples of lychee drink. The samples for each panelist are assembled on a tray in the sequences that they are to be evaluated. The samples are served to panelists for evaluations. Then, the 2 identical samples among the 3 samples will be circled by panelists. Score sheets are decoded on the master sheet. Lastly, the result will be recorded on the score sheet given.
Based on the pie chart, it is stated that total correct answer is 66.67% with 40 out of 60 panelists. Furthermore, it also showed that total incorrect answer is 33.33% with 20 out of 60 panelists. Binomial distribution across the table. In triangle test, same sample test using 60 panelists, the result that we obtained, 40 panelists matched the sample to the correct reference item. from Rosler table, the table value for 60 panelists at 5% probability, as 27 panelists must be correctly matched to the reference. So, 40 much greater than 27. In conclusion, there is a significant difference. Therefore, panelists could detect a difference between two samples. For adjusted chi-square test, the manual calculation is stated above. From this calculation, we can say that it is clear that the X calculation is 29.9625. X table is equal to 3.841. So, X calculation is greater than X table. Therefore, there is a significant difference between two samples. Hence, panelists can detect a difference between two samples.
The adjusted chi-square test can be analyzed using Microsoft Excel. This adjusted chi-square test is used to determine whether there is a statistically significant difference exists between the expected and the observed frequencies of the test. From the Excel, the chi-square value for the data above is 1.0263 with 5 degrees of freedom, and the p-value is 0.9604. Since the p-value is greater than the commonly accepted level of alpha value, 0.05, thus we can reject the null hypothesis and accept alternative hypothesis. Therefore, there is significantly difference between the two samples, Yo's lychee drink and Greenho lychee drink. It is clear that the panelists can detect the difference between the two samples of lychee drink.
Next, SPSS software. In this project, we requested for actual and expected count, which is produced for each group of permutations AAB, ABA, ABB, BBA, BAA, BAB in rows, and each outcomes true, false in columns. Here is the result. The last box labeled chi-square test gives the result of the chi-square test. Pearson chi-square value is 1.026. The F value is 5 because n minus 1 equals to 6 minus 1, and we got 5. Asymptotic significance, two-sided, shows the p-value, which is 0.960. As the p-value is 0.960 greater than the commonly accepted level of alpha value 0.05, therefore there is enough evidence to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. In other words, there is significantly difference between the two samples. To be concluded, there is significantly differences between Yo's lychee drinks and Greenho lychee drinks. Thus, the panelists can detect the differences between the two samples of lychee drinks.
The normal distribution and z-test unproportioned manual calculation is as above. In a triangle test using 60 panelists. The results: 40 panelists can detect two similar samples. From calculation using z-test, the proportion correct was 66.6%. Z-calculation is 5.34. Thus, 5.34 is greater than 1.65. So, we decide to reject the null hypothesis and accept the alternative hypothesis. In conclusion, there is significant difference between two samples. Therefore, panelists could detect a difference between two samples.
Let's move to the discussion. First of all, the sensory test that is used in this project is a type of discrimination test called same sample triangle test. Among the various sensory methods, triangle test is one of the most powerful and sensitive tests which are employed to determine the odd sample from three samples. S. Shah et al. 2022. Two samples of lychee drinks were given to the panelists. For the sample A is Yo's lychee flavored drinks, while sample B is Greenho lychee flavored drinks. In this part, we shall discuss the analysis of the data from this project. From this triangle test, we used binomial distribution Rosler table, adjusted chi-square, and the normal distribution and z-test on proportion. Let's dig it one by one. Firstly, binomial distribution Roselle table gives result that 40 panelists correctly answer, achieve greater number of panelists than 27 from Roselle table. Hence, can reject H null and accept the H alternative. Secondly, using the chi-square test, from this test, there are manual calculation using Excel software and SPSS software. By using the manual calculation, we use data O1 correct is 40 panelists and O2 incorrect is 20 panelists. From the calculation, the chi-square value is 29.9625 greater than 3.841. Hence, there is significant differences between samples and the panelists could detect the difference between the Yos and Greenhow lychee juice. To justify this, Excel software chi-square value is 1.0263. Same goes with SPSS result. The p-value of both Excel and SPSS also same, which is 0.960. Since p-value 0.960 greater than alpha value 0.05, the H null is rejected and accept H alternative. Thirdly, from the calculation of normal distribution and Z test on proportion, the proportions correct was 66.67%. Z calculation is 5.34 greater than 1.65. Since that, we decide to reject H null and accept H alternative. We have met our objective of the project. From these three methods, including the software, enough evidence to reject our null hypothesis and accept alternative hypothesis. We have determined that the panelists can differentiate between two samples of popular lychee drinks in the market from different brands, Yos lychee drinks and Greenhow lychee drinks. In industry application, this triangle test could benefit in cost efficiency. Triangle test establishes whether a food product is substantially altered when its ingredients or manufacturing process are changed. For instance, a food maker may think about using less expensive ingredients in place of more costly ones due to financial constraints. Triangle testing can assist in identifying the choice that is most similar to the original if there are multiple substitution options.
From what we can conclude here, this project conducted a same sample triangle test to discern differences between Yos and Greenhow lychee flavored drink. The aim was to determine if panelists could detect disparities between the two samples. Results from what data analysis that we get consistently rejected the null hypothesis in favor of the alternative hypothesis. It demonstrated that panelists could distinguish between two sample lychee drinks. So, the project successfully achieved its objective in demonstrating the detectable differences between Yos and Greenhow lychee flavored drink.